Do you stand with them or with House Leader Nancy Pelosi, who believes impeachment talk is premature?
I think that Donald Trump has already done a number of things which legitimately raise the question of impeachment.
Well, the Democratic Party taking a hard left turn as that man, Democratic Congressman from the great state of Minnesota, Keith Ellison, arguing to impeach President Trump. He's currently about the leader of the pack over at the DNC. The race is going to be held on Saturday down in Atlanta. Here to react, Fox News contributor and 2008 Democratic presidential candidate and somebody who actually does love kale, Dennis Kucinich. Congressman, good morning to you.
Good morning, Steve.
All right. Keith Ellison, you like him, right?
Keith's a friend of mine. I've known him for years.
Do you think it's appropriate at this stage, barely a month in, to be talking about impeachment?
No. And, you know, as someone who has actually participated in a debate over one impeachment when President Clinton was in and voted against it, and also offered impeachment resolutions for another president relating to Iraq, it's a very high standard, and it's a destabilizing process. And while the government right now would appear to be shaky to some people, I think that we have to be very careful in putting that on the table so early.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, you know, here in New York City, the cover of the New York Daily News is "The Hell We Will." It talks about how the top cop here is not going to follow President Trump's immigration guidelines that he's issued in the last couple of days. And there's a new poll out from Harvard that shows that 80% of Americans don't want sanctuary cities. Cities that turn illegals, arrest illegals, should turn them over. 80% support that. Are we at a tipping point with the sanctuary city things where people in cities like New York City, if they're going to want the federal money, they better, you know, forget about the sanctuary city business?
Well, there's a couple different issues here, Steve. First of all, Congress does have the authority to, if it chooses, to put restrictions on federal tax dollars and who can receive them. But I want to say there's another principle here that doesn't get much discussion, and that is the principle of home rule and popular sovereignty. When the federal government was created, it was thought of preserving the rights of states and even localities to be able to rule themselves. Popular sovereignty, home rule.
Sure.
And that's a conservative principle. And what we're doing here is we're enabling big government to create a big foot.
Right, but Dennis, another conservative principle, if somebody is in the country illegally and they've been convicted of various felonies and they're supposed to be deported, they should be deported.
Well, you know, if someone has committed a violent crime, has been convicted of a felony, I think that you know, there are federal laws that provide for enforcement.
Sure.
However,
right.
this is another area here, Steve, which is trying to put local enforcement, local law enforcement,
All right.
under control of the federal government.
Let's see what happens. All right. Thank you, sir.